everyone, and welcome to our 4th episode of Let's Get Wheel. I'm here joined by my co-host,
Nina.
And today we have a very special guest. We have Kierra.
Hi, I'm a senior. I am majoring in Film Studies and Anthropology, and I'm also minoring in theater.
Fun. So this podcast is just about getting real about our life as students and as just currently our time at UNL. You're a senior, so you've been here 4 years. Yep. How does that feel? You're graduating this May. You guys both are graduating this May. How does that feel for you guys?
How about you start?
I was gonna make a gagging noise, but I'm scared.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's just stressful.
Yeah.
And I just want to puke sometimes. But it's fun.
Yeah.
Senior year.
Yeah. How are you feeling?
Same. I'm also scared. I'm stressed out because it's like I'm going to graduate and then who knows? I don't have any other plans
what's gonna happen
for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm trying to get through this. Sorry, I keep talking in a country accent.
I keep doing it too.
But yeah, I'm just trying to get through this last week with all these assignments, but it is also exciting because it's a new step in life.
How are your finals going?
They're all right.
They're going.
They're going.
Right.
Yeah.
So we kind of want to start from the beginning, and just your road to applying to college, deciding to go to college, from high school. How did you decide that you wanted to go to college? Was there a big process during that, or did you just decide?
There wasn't a huge process. I kind of just felt like it was something I always was planning on doing it. I guess I never really considered not going to college. So yeah, I don't have much to say about that.
Yeah.
I mean, I did take a gap year, but
okay.
Yeah.
Did your gap year affect your decision at all, or was it just for relaxation? Or
I mean, I just wasn't really ready to make a decision. I knew I wanted to go to college, but I didn't know exactly where, and if I wanted to go out of state, I wasn't ready to move out of state. Mm-hmm. So I just kind of wanted some time to chill out and think about everything, and yeah.
So how did you decide UNL out of everywhere?
Well, I still wasn't ready to move out because for the longest time, I had wanted to go to Chicago or somewhere. But then when the time came, I was kind of just I don't really want to move away from my family or friends right now. There's a lot of opportunities that I still want to take in Lincoln. And I figure with my major, I don't need to go to this amazing college out of state to get the degree. I can still get a degree at UNL, which is a great college, and then do something else later.
So was it always just kind of Nebraska schools in your mind, or was it always just kind of Lincoln in general?
It was mostly just UNL. I mean, for out of state, like I said, I kind of wanted to go to Chicago, but for schools in Nebraska, I really only considered UNL because I live so close, and
Yeah. How'd you decide to pursue your major? Was it something you found here, or did you always just kind of know you wanted to go to Film Studies and Anthropology?
For Film Studies, I really always wanted to go to Film Studies. I have always been very interested in film, and yeah, so I knew I wanted to go into film for a very, very long time, but I didn't become an anthropology major until my second year. And it basically just came out of me wanting more and me realizing that I was very interested in it with a few classes I had taken for other requirements. And I wanted to not necessarily have a backup in case, I don't become the famous director. But yeah, so that was something I found at UNL.
Did you like movies growing up at all, and that kind of influence?
Yeah, I'd say I liked movies.
Yeah, I think we all like movies a lot.
Yeah. What's your favorite movie?
My favorite movie? Oh, probably. Oh, I don't know. Do you have a favorite movie?
It used to be Dirty Dancing.
Oh, yeah.
But lately, Pride and Prejudice has gone up on my list. But also, every time I watch Ferris Bueller's Day Off, I just remember how great it is. So I think that's up there too.
I haven't seen that, but Pride and Prejudice is on like my top 4 at Letterboxd.
Mhm.
Like my top 4 favorite films.
It's such a good
Banger.
movie.
Yeah.
And the soundtrack in it is just it's really
Mhm.
nice.
I really like Nightcrawler.
Oh yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah. Kind of influenced my decision to go into broadcasting a bit.
Oh,
Just a
really?
bit.
So you could be just like the main character in
Well,
Nightcrawler?
not really. Just I just liked how passionate he was.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a pretty good movie.
Do you know your top 4 on Letterboxd at all?
Oh, okay. So I'm being interviewed by the Letterboxd, like those videos. My top 4 is Swiss Army Man, Saw, Moulin Rouge, and what's the last? Pan's Labyrinth.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Nice.
Yep.
I've only ever heard of one of those,
Oh.
but I've
Which
never
one?
seen any of them.
Which
Well,
Mhm.
I know Saw. Also, Moulin Rouge sounds very familiar,
Mhm.
but I've never
It
seen it.
has Ewan McGregor in it. And it's a
Oh,
musical.
I love
Oh,
you.
okay.
Good. Have you seen any of those movies?
I've seen Swiss Army Man.
Oh my gosh, they're not even like obscure movies, guys. Come on.
I've seen Swiss Army Man. Yeah, I remember that made like a huge. It was very.
Yeah.
Yeah, is that A24?
Mhm.
Okay, yeah, it seemed A24. So.
Yeah, and it's by the same directors as Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Oh.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
that's also a really good movie.
That
I
is.
agree.
So how much of college did you know before coming in? Like, what was your first experience like here? Did you have like a big lecture class, or was it just a small class?
Well, my first year was COVID, so it was a
Oh.
little complicated. We had a lot of Zoom classes, but the other ones I did were kind of bigger lecture ones. I was taking Japanese class, so those were a little smaller,
Ooh.
but yeah, they were pretty much all on Zoom or kind of in a big room.
Yeah, you and Nina both kind of came in during the COVID
Yeah.
time. So how different was that kind of from like was it like a big progression towards like normal classes like in person, or was it just like a big jump? Because I wasn't here during that time.
I mean, for me, it was like a big jump, but I also just liked being online. So even after that, like when things were in person, I still chose a lot of online classes if that was an option for them. So I never got fully back into in person.
Mhm.
Even like this semester, I have 3 online and 1 in person,
Oh.
which I should probably get out more. But that's just like how I learn best.
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't really like online classes. I mean, I kind of liked them for the reason that I could stay at home and be in the class on my bed, but then also I wouldn't listen a lot. And I would just go on my phone more and kind of zone out, to be honest. But also, I just prefer being in person, like getting to make connections with other classmates. I think it's a lot easier being with them in person.
Yeah, I feel like that's essential. Like, especially in college, you're all kind of in the same boat. And especially if it's your first year, you're all kind of like having that experience together. So the fact that it was all over Zoom is really...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Womp womp.
my last year at Metro was on Zoom. And I got robbed out of a lot of experiences. That, because my major is very hands-on, so I feel like I was just robbed out of that.
When you first came to UNL, were there any obstacles that you had to face within like the process of coming here or during your time here?
So I mean, for one, the COVID stuff, that
Yes.
was a bummer, to say the least. But also, and with that, it was just hard to make friends, which isn't necessarily have to do with, academic stuff, but I had really wanted to do that, and I really just wanted to meet new people at college and stuff like that, but I wasn't really able to do that my first year and like half of my second year. So that made me really sad. Also, I just wasn't really like locked into school yet. I don't know. I told myself that I would be, but then I wasn't.
Was it the gap year that affected that a bit?
Maybe, yeah, because I hadn't been in the school
mindset,
zone.
yeah. It's
So
kind of
maybe.
hard to get into too. I took a gap year too between my 2 years and then coming here. It was really hard to get back into it.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like.
Yeah.
Did you take a gap year?
I did not, but I wish I did.
Mm.
Just because, I mean, I'm glad that I didn't, because I have the experience that I have, and I got to meet my friends and, get to experience what I did. But I think the smarter way would have been to take a gap year, especially because of COVID, and I could have gotten like a first start experience that like other people in different years did. But I mean, I wouldn't change it how I did. I like how it ended up.
Yeah, like the normal type of way of coming in, just like coming in and actually being in person class.
Yeah, and making friends a normal way, and But again, I wouldn't change it because I really like how I ended up and all the people that I met and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Nice.
How did you kind of overcome those obstacles?
I kind of just did. There wasn't like, I don't have any like grand advice or like anything big that happened. It just kind of, life went on. And then like after things started getting a little bit back to normal, it was a little bit easier to go out and be on campus, join clubs, meet new people. So that helped with the meeting people stuff. And then I don't know if I ever really got fully locked in, as they say. But I just kind of kept going. That's it. Like,
Would you say being like really involved on campus kind of helped you overcome this?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, not being so detached from everything that was going on. Like, even, if I'm not necessarily doing schoolwork, I was still involved in the community. So it's like, I think that kind of helped me at least stay in the mindset of being in school.
What clubs did you join?
I joined Film Club, and I joined the Marvel Bunch. Those were the only two clubs that I went to regularly. There were some that I've tried out. Like, I went to the, I can't think of the actual club name. I think Spectrum. Yeah, Spectrum. The LGBT
Spectrum
club.
UNL, I think it's called.
Yes. I went to a few meetings of those. I went to a meeting of Theme Park Design Group. But just schedules.
Can you tell us about theme park design?
It's kind of
it sounds interesting.
It's kind of a fire club. I went to one meeting, but I really wish I had gone to go to more because it was a lot of fun. Like, it's basically just for people who are interested in theme parks, whether it's just liking them or if you want to, people who want to go into that as a career, like working at a theme park.
So they play roller coaster tycoon.
I'm sure they have sometimes. Yeah. When I was there, it was just like the first meeting of the semester, so we had talked about theme parks, and that was the main thing. I know they also enter a lot of competitions with like designing roller coasters. I know one meeting they had like a PowerPoint night. They had they made like cardboard roller coasters.
Okay.
Yeah, something like that. You were actually in film club too, right?
Yeah, during my first semester coming here, I just wanted to find as many clubs as I could join. And film club interested me because I like movies too, and I'm minoring in film studies. So I feel like that would have been nice. And I also like the concept of just like everyone coming together every other week, and watching a movie, and then after discussing it. I was a bit scared to join because you hear something like film club and you kind of hear like, you kind of like expect like pretentious bill. Just like, but it was actually so chill. Like, I feel like everyone likes movies, and that's all you kind of need to be passionate about.
One thing I liked about it is that there's so many different genres that happen, and like you get to see a bunch of different movies that you probably never would have thought of on your own, so you get to like branch out a little bit, which was cool.
Have you had a favorite class year or favorite professor?
Ooh. Well, the first class that comes to mind. Okay, it's kind of a tie. Well, it's kind of a tie between these two classes by the same professor, Michael Svoboda. The first class was actually part of the broadcasting thing. Major. Yes, major. It was a really long title. It was like short form TV pilot production. And class was so much fun. I loved it so much because, we wrote a script for a short form TV pilot and then we produced it, if you can imagine. And we got to make it the whole thing. And then also by him, he did one at the Emerging Media Arts major, and it was horror screenwriting. And so, like, our big project, our final project was we completely wrote the first act of a horror film, and that was awesome. And I loved it so much. And, like, those... Well, yeah.
So do you like writing and producing and making content then?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You enjoy that?
Yeah. I like making films. I mean, I don't know, you don't have to put this in. I love the film studies major, but like it wasn't like totally what I was expecting, because I thought it was going to be more like, you know, writing and making films, stuff like that, but it was a lot more studying and analyzing films, which is great, and I love that we get to learn to do that, but it's kind of like it was just a little disappointing, and it's a little bit frustrating that I feel like I've learned more about what I want to do in my career with writing in film in majors that aren't film studies than I have in film studies.
Yeah, I kind of expected that too, just looking at the name Film Studies. But it's more based on English and researching the history, and I feel like that gap has kind of been filled by the Johnny Carson Center and the Emerging Media Arts major, which is kind of hard to get into.
It is. I've heard it's very hard, and not only is it hard because of the application process, because with film studies you just apply to College of Arts and Sciences, but with Emerging Media Arts it's a lot more, and like the theater majors, it's a lot more specific, and then also more selective, I guess. So and then also with EMA being a much newer school, they've still got a lot.
You can't like kind of change your major to that either, because they will reject your application, which is really unfortunate.
Did you apply there?
No, but one of my professors was kind of talking about how he doesn't like how separated we are, because I feel like a lot of our, like my major broadcasting intertwines a lot with what the Emerging Media Arts people are doing. So he kind of was just like frustrated about how that wasn't, how we are more connected, because they have a lot of talent. They have actors and they have just screenwriters and everything. And I feel like that those people can come here, and then we have the equipment, we have the ability to produce these things. We have a whole television studio, and that would be like, if we were more connected, we would able to be doing like really great things.
That's kind of how I wish the film studies was more connected with like the theater and EMA too, because I feel like all of our skills combined, we can form a great team.
Like film studies, Emerging Media Arts, and broadcasting, all of them together working on something, or just having classes together just with those people. I feel like it's a lot of connections that you can make, and you can make like a lot of great things. So it's really sad that
we're cooking something up here. We need to talk to the people in charge.
Let's tell them that. Let's get connected to the media arts people.
Get back to me soon. We can.
Maybe they'll listen to this and be like, "Hey, they have a good idea."
Maybe
we should listen to these three students.
They thought, and then they were just like, "Nah."
I
don't know.
Nah.
I did hear someone else talking about that this week, though. They're like more art based, but they were talking about how they don't understand why your guys aren't all together, like because I mean, if you have like people who make things, people who act in them, produce them, like you have so many fun talents that all work together, but yet you're all separated, which is a bummer.
Like some of the classes we take here, like we have video production, and that class we make skits, we make like 30-second films and just stuff. So a lot of the broadcasting students are kind of not, they don't really want to be on camera. So imagine if we knew people from the Emerging Media Arts people, and we had them as talent and actors in our stuff, like that would be, I mean, we just write it and we would be able to produce it and film it. So
Because they want to be on camera.
they like to do that stuff.
Yeah.
And
So
when you make broadcasting students that don't want to be, they want to do production, they don't want to be talent.
yeah.
Like,
I want to be both.
that's
So
Yeah.
I should have majored in broadcasting, honestly. A lot of the time I think about what could have been if I like majored, broadcasting or theater or maybe EMA.
Mm-hmm.
and minoring in broadcasting too, you have to do a lot more work because you have to go through the core journalism modules before you even
Oh wow.
get to take a broadcasting class. So a lot of people drop broadcasting as a minor because they have to go through that. Because you have to do a bunch of modules before you can even take a class. And those are 1 credit classes, and it's actually a lot of work.
Mm-hmm.
Especially for, like, new people.
And journalism is hard.
Yeah.
I wanted to be a photojournalist for a hot minute in
Oh.
high school. Yeah.
Did you do photojournalism in high school?
Yeah.
Okay. And you didn't
Yeah.
continue with
I was in a newspaper class in high school.
Oh, okay.
And so we worked on like the school newspaper, and our class, the class was like, oh my gosh, hold on. It was me, those 2 guys, and then Emily. So it was 4 people in that whole class, and we made a podcast together.
Oh.
Yeah, it was pretty awesome. I wonder if I still have like the recordings of that. But yeah, that's why I kind of wanted to be a photojournalist.
Yeah. Did you use any resources at UNL during your time here to just help you get through your time here as a senior?
As a senior? Or
No, just
Just as a student.
yeah, as a student
Okay.
through your senior, not your third, to getting through your senior year.
Let's see. Well, one time I rented a microphone at
Oh.
the library. Let me think. I mean, I spoke to a career coach at one point. I spoke to my advisor quite a bit. I went to CAPS once.
Okay, yeah, CAPS. We love CAPS here.
Yes.
Oh, yes. I went there for a few meetings. And, okay, guys, don't do this, but I had to reschedule a meeting because I just couldn't make it that day anymore, and then I just never scheduled it again. I kind of just left her hanging. Yeah, it just wasn't really hitting, but, I mean, that's just dependent. That's not to say everyone, just dependent on who you talk to. And
Yeah.
Also depends if it works for you.
exactly.
Yeah, just that resource in general.
Yeah, it is a very good resource though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So while you're wrapping up your college experience, is there any like big project that you have to do before you graduate?
Yeah, so since I'm a double major, I do have 2 capstone projects. The one for anthropology is I am doing a research paper on petroglyphs and pictographs in the Pacific Northwest, but I'm specifically looking at sites in the Columbia River in between Oregon and Washington. So I'm just kind of looking at different motifs on, because petroglyphs and pictographs, if you don't know, they're basically painted or carved images into rock. So I'm looking at the motifs and the distribution, stuff like that, of these images to see what it can inform us of prehistoric indigenous societies.
Cool.
What have you found?
Well, I guess you also read my research paper to find that out.
Okay.
Next episode of Let's Get Real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But actually, honestly, I need to kind of get into it. But some of the stuff I found, there's a lot of stuff. But one of the things that I've learned that is, this is actually something pretty interesting. So there is this trail in Oregon at Columbia Hills State Park called Temeni Peshwa Trail, and there's the Petroglyph Trail, and so that's a trail. There's a bunch of rocks and boulders with petroglyphs on them, pictographs on them, and those rocks had been moved from their original place on the Columbia River because they were building dams there. So specifically like the Dalles Dam, the John Day Dam. With the building of those dams there, people had been complaining about how the pictures will be removed or hidden, and so for some reason they chose these pictures we don't know why they chose those specific ones to save, but they moved them, and then for a while they were just kind of moved around to random places, and then they were basically just like put at the bottom of the dam, just sitting there for a while, and then they got vandalized quite a bit because they weren't managed very well and they were just accessible to the public. So a lot of the art has been deteriorating because of graffiti. But now they're on a trail that's managed by a state park. So yeah, that's what I found.
That's interesting.
Nice.
My other capstone paper, I'll try to keep this a little quicker. It's much different. So this class is it's film studies, but it's technically an English capstone, but the class centered on Shakespeare. So for the creative project part, I did an adaptation of Romeo and Juliet, and in this adaptation, it's Ramona and Juliet.
Oh.
And it's a musical.
Oh.
And the songs, so the musical songs are all from My Chemical Romance.
Oh.
Okay.
And I promise it's like actually kind of fire. But yeah, so I'm like writing a film treatment for it and then doing a little script example. And it's been a lot of fun and it's been really hard. And yeah, and I also have to write like a critical introduction for it and be like research.
Do you ever get the chance like to produce it, or would you produce it in the future?
I mean, it would be super cool to produce it. I don't know how many people are wanting a Romeo and Juliet lesbian My Chemical Romance
I feel like
musical.
we
I
can find
would.
the audience.
I'm
Yeah.
sure we
I'm sure
could,
there would be an audience that would be a fan of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Will you direct it?
I
Or
can't
produce it? Or like, you know.
I feel like if you wrote it, you would have to direct it.
That's true.
I could be
yeah.
anyone else on crew.
Okay.
I
cool,
love
cool.
producing stuff. And,
Okay. What would you want to do?
I'll bring the bagels.
Awesome. You can be the caterer.
Yes,
Charge the
I
food.
will bring the coffee. I'll bring the breakfast. I'll come hang out, and
Yeah.
I'll just like,
Be there for support.
yeah. And also, if someone's not doing their job, I will yell at them for you.
Thank you.
Okay, I think you can be like kind of like a stage manager.
I'd be down to do that.
Mm-hmm. You can do that.
Yeah. So it's a plan. Now we're
So
going to do
yeah,
this. Yep.
so we're up to producing this. Yeah, coming soon.
Let's go.
Yes. So every podcast we talk about our media of the week, which is just like any music, movies, TVs, really anything during that time or the week that we are currently obsessed with. Yeah, and it just can be like any kind of media because we are always listening to something or watching something. So
We are always consuming media.
we are
Yeah.
always consuming
we are
media.
media consumers.
Loves
to
And it
consume
helps
media.
us get through life and through school.
Yeah.
I feel like, yeah.
So my media from this week was I watched Late Night with the Devil, which is a really good movie. And I love any kind of movie that's like mind bending and just like twists and turns and you don't really know what's going on. So I'm not the biggest fan of horror movies, but I've learned that I love anything like psychological, like thrilling. So I really liked Late Night with the Devil because it was scary, but it wasn't like too scary to the point where I like couldn't move or I was afraid to go into the dark, you know? So I really liked it because throughout the whole movie you don't really know what's going on or like why the things are happening. But it was like it was a good movie and I had a good time watching it. So
Yeah. I saw it a couple weeks ago and yeah, it was a lot of fun. I do really like horror movies, so I mean, I assumed I would like it. I was a little hesitant because of AI art being
Yes.
used.
Oh yeah,
and
it does
boo,
have AI art.
We don't support AI art. But other than that, it was pretty good. I liked the setting and just like how it was done. I think it was really creative, and I agree.
Yeah.
It wasn't super duper scary. I don't usually love psychological horror films, but I like how they did. I don't think it was like overbearing.
yeah.
I also don't know why they used AR during that part because I feel like they were
Yeah.
just like title screens and
Yeah.
they could have made that themselves.
Well, like I
Yeah.
could have made those in like Procreate. I could have drawn them in like an hour, you know?
Yeah. I remember when the movie was coming out, so many people were saying, like, I would have made that for free for you guys. Like, there's so many people who, obviously, you should pay them for the art, but, like, there's so many people who would just want to do it for free.
Yeah, I don't get the point of what they were trying to achieve with that.
Yeah.
I don't know how they justified it.
I don't know if they were, like, trying to make it quick or not, like, want to pay someone to do it. I don't know. But other than that, I thought, like, the movie was well written, and I kind of like when you get to the end and it's kind of summed up, but it still is just like making you think, like there's some certain things that we didn't know, like it wasn't summed up or anything, but yeah, I really liked that movie.
Yeah, I like the setting of it. TV studio.
Yes.
My calling.
Yeah, well, because it's all in like one area.
Yeah.
So I think that was nice. Yeah, but I really liked how it went from like being on screen to then like when they hit cut and they go like behind stage and it's like black and white. I thought was like another really cool touch, because you get to see like behind the scenes, but also like the one camera like as if they're like on TV. It was very much like, I don't know, is it like 70s?
Yeah.
So it's very much has like that 70s vibe, and like it looks like the camera they used was from the 70s. So I really like the switch between that and like the behind the scenes.
Yeah. I'm going to go while you think of yours. My media, I've been watching a lot of South Park, unfortunately.
Oh, okay.
It's been, I feel like since I grew up with South Park, it's just been a part of my life, and I do like rewatches of the just all 26 seasons. I think it's 26. Currently I'm on my 8th or 9th rewatch, and I'm on season 14.
Wow.
It's just something I have on in the background when I'm like eating or when I'm like trying to get work done in transitional periods, like between classes, like working on I work on first class and then I just put it in the background. Just something very comforting since I grew up with it.
Like a baby sensory video.
Maybe maybe that is that. And because I've seen it so much, I know the episodes and I don't have to pay attention to it, and I know like I remember what's happening.
It's kind of nostalgic for you.
It is,
just like for SpongeBob with me. You don't have to pay attention and you know it, and it's like I get that.
Comforting.
Who's your favorite South Park character?
My favorite South Park character is Kenny.
Which one's that? Oh, with the hoodie?
He has an orange hood.
Okay,
yeah. He's always been my favorite. I feel like even when I was little, I'd be like, he's funny. He doesn't talk. He just talks all muffled.
Do you relate to him at all?
Well, no.
Okay.
No. I do see some of myself in him. Yeah. Like when he was eating Takis and like the couch, and like his friend came in and he was like, Kenny, and he's just eating Takis. So that's me. That's me. So I do see myself in him. Have
you ever been to Casa Bonita?
I have.
Oh my gosh!
I went before it got revamped. Revamped, yeah. So I haven't gone since it's been remodeled and everything. Same. I want to go so bad.
We should go sometime.
We should go. Yeah, we should go. Yeah. I know they made it more like South Park themed a bit, so that would be really fun to experience. Yeah. But before I went, the food was really bad. Yeah. So hopefully the food's better.
I would hope so. But that would take away from the Casa Bonita experience if the food
is are they known like to have bad food?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Eric really liked it in his episode, so.
Yeah. So for my media, it's kind of silly, but the main thing I've been consuming lately is a show called The Amazing Race. It is a reality competition where this group of contestants, they basically just travel around the world for $1 million. They get to go through all these really cool places. Me and my parents have been watching it, and we actually went back and started from season 1, and they have 36 seasons.
Oh my god.
I know. It's still going. It started in like 2001. Right now we're on season 6. And let me just say, it's always a crazy bunch of people, and especially in the early 2000s, like it's really wild some of the things people would say and do on live television. Well, it's not live television. Just say and do in general
for television,
but then also on television, like they went to Africa, and this one lady was like being just super disgusting and like, yeah. But besides watching people be gross, it's a really interesting show. I like kind of living vicariously through them and traveling to all of these places, and like they don't just go to like the regular touristy spots. They do like actual real person things. I mean, they're all like competitions.
Do you have any music or movies?
I love Dune.
Dune 2 or just Dune?
I mean, both. I love Dune Part 1 and Dune Part 2.
What about the old one from the
I haven't
80s?
seen it.
Oh,
I know.
See, I've seen that one, but I haven't seen part 2 of the new ones, which I really want to see, though.
Good.
It is really good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I love it. For music, I don't know. I've been listening to a lot of like musicals lately because I'm in a musical theater class. And I'm always listening to My Chemical Romance. You know how it is.
Of course.
System of a Down. Korn. Yep.
The usuals.
The usual. Yeah. I've been playing a lot of Dead by Daylight.
Okay.
Oh.
I like that game.
Oh, you do?
I like watching it.
Okay.
I like watching people play it.
Oh my gosh, maybe I can like stream for you.
Oh,
Send
yeah.
the-
You can screen share it to me
Yes.
and I'll watch.
Oh my gosh, that's
But you have
so
to like
sweet.
commentate on it the whole time.
I'll try, yeah. Would you watch too?
For sure, anything for you.
Oh, thanks.
Okay, so we kind of want to wrap this episode up. Thank you, Kierra, for coming on and
Yay.
talking about your life experience and getting real,
Yeah.
getting real with
Yes.
us.
Thank you for inviting me, and thank you for getting real with me.
Yeah. So also thank you everyone for listening.
Yeah.
Bye.